Hare Krishna, devotees, Dhanvat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Hari Bol to all the devotees, starting with Ramachandra Prabhu, Pavan Prabhuji, Sangeeta Mataji, Aarti Mataji for leading the chanting this morning. Om Ajnanaatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktaranda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome everybody. So we'll start with the prayers. This whole month we've been singing glories of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and today I thought we can start a new series which is a compilation of prayers based on the Shikshashtakam. Shikshashtakam, as we know, as all our little kids recited on Gaura Purnima at the center. These are 8 verses, 8 instructions, kind of final 8 instructions given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is in the form of Shiksha and Ashtakam, 8 verses. So these verses are so beautiful that they help us progress on the path of our spiritual journey from Shraddha all the way up to Prema, right? From Shraddha to Sadhusanga, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava and Prema. So these 8 symbolize that. And based on these 8 verses, our Acharya Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has compiled 8 different, 8 or even actually more than 8 prayers for each of these verses. So I think we can sing each. This will be a good exercise. I'm also singing them for the first time, but yeah, a lot of our senior Vaishnavas have sung these prayers for many years, so it will be purifying for all of us to also recite these prayers by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who is the spiritual father or spiritual grandfather of Srila Prabhupada, right? Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati and his father Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So yeah, so this is the first. This is song 1, which glorifies the first verse of Cheto Darpana Marjanam, that what is the process of bhakti and how it purifies our hearts. So we can sing this today or this week. Okay. Pitavarana Kali. Hold on 1 second. Let me get this. Okay, Haribol. Pita Varana Kali Pavana Gora. Pita Varana Kali Pavana Gora. Gao Yai Chana Pava Vibhora. Gao Yai Chana Bhava Vibhora. Chitta Darpana Pari Marjanakari. Krishna Kirtana Jaya Chitta Bihari. Hela Bhavadava Nirvapana Vritti. Krishna Kirtana Jaya Klesha Nivritti. Shreya Kumuda Vidhu Jyotsna Prakasha Krishna Kirtana Jaya Bhakti Vilasa Vishuddha Vidya Vadhu Jivana Rupa Krishna Kirtana Jaya Siddha Swarupa Ananda Payo Nidhi Vardhana Kirti Krishna Kirtana Jaya Plavana Murti Pade Pade Piyusha Swada Pradata Krishna Kirtana Jaya Prema Vidhata Bhakti Vinoda Swatma Snapana Vidhana Krishna Kirtana Jaya Prema Nidana Bhakti Vinoda Swatma Snapana Vidhana Krishna Kirtana Jaya Prema Nidana Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Shri Shikshashtakam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, anybody would like to read the translation of this beautiful prayer? Am I audible? Okay.
I can read from you.
Prabhu, Mataji, you want to read? Sangeeta Mataji?
Yeah.
Yes, please. Yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Lord Gauranga, whose complexion is golden, and who is the deliverer of the fallen soul, sings as follows, overwhelmed with spiritual ecstasy. All glories to the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. It thoroughly cleanses the mirror of this mirror of the heart. This chanting delights the soul. All glories to the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. It extinguishes the horrible forest fire of material existence. This chanting removes all the material tribulations. All glories to the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. It appears like the moon in the heart and distributes its cooling moonlight, thus causing the white lotus of the good fortune to bloom. This chanting is the pastime of devotions. All glories to the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. It is compared to a young bride, yes, and the devotee to the transcendental knowledge itself. This chanting is the highest perpetuations of life. All glories to the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. It is glorious as it causes the ocean of ecstasy's bliss to swell and overflow. This chanting is an a indication of love of Godhead. All glories to the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. It gives one a taste of fully satisfying the nectar at every stage. This chanting is the best word of ecstatic love of God. All glories to the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. It busts the soul of Bhakti Vinoda. This chanting is a storehouse of love of God. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Sangeeta Mataji. Anything that you liked from this translation, the prayer?
Um, Just I love that everything is everything is the name of the Krishna. And whenever you talk about the version of the ecstasis bliss or that your knowledge and um, uh, like the moon in the heart and distributes its cooling moonlight. All is the holy name of the chanting Krishna. When you chant the Krishna's name, all that comes in mind and our soul will be pure. That's it.
Yes.
Thank you, Babaji.
Thank you, Haribol.
Mm,
Yes, it's like a seed. When we water the seed, eventually
yes,
the small sprout, it will sprout out, and then eventually we nurture and nourish the sapling, then it will grow into a small plant and then a tree, right? So everything is there in the seed, in the holy name. So the chanting is so pure and so potent that just if we do that sincerely, then yes, the Lord will reveal Himself just through His holy name. नाम से रूप गुण लीला सब आएगा, सब प्रकाश हो जाएगा. नाम होना चाहिए. नाम किसे नाम है सर्वनर्थ नाश. हमारे सारे पाप नष्ट हो जाते हैं. Then the Lord will reveal Himself. He will remove the curtain. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, let's continue. Yesterday we read in Hindi. We completed, I think, verse 19, and we read a part of verse 20. So I thought we can continue, start from verse 20. So yesterday Prabhupada was teaching us through the instructions of Srila Kapil Dev that bhakti is the ultimate. Just as we just said, this chanting of the holy name is the ultimate. Just by having knowledge, just by having renunciation, that is not Brahma Siddhi, as Mayavadis and even Buddhists think that nirvana is cessation of all material things, material existence. Everything should become void. Or we are Brahma, we are Aham Brahmasmi, as they say, that I am also God. Right? So all of that only leads to, again, fall down from the spiritual path. So the completion of self-realization is only attained by pure devotional service, by bhakti. So that was kind of the message from the last instruction, last verse. And the Lord reveals, the Lord is seated in everybody's heart. And the Lord says, out of special favor for His devotees, even the Lord is friend for everybody, but He especially favors His devotees as His best friends. So He is residing in the hearts of everybody. He says that I remove the darkness of ignorance through the torchlight of knowledge. And that's why Lord sends Sri Guru in our lives, so that Guru, who is the external manifestation of the Lord, he comes and he, with the torchlight of knowledge, he removes the darkness of ignorance. So anyway, so that was the theme from yesterday's reading. So let's continue with this text 20. Prasangam ajaram pasham atmanah kavayo viduhu sa eva sadhushu krito mokshadvaram apavritam. Every learned man knows very well that attachment for the material is the greatest entanglement of the spirit soul. But that same attachment, when applied to self-realized devotees, opens the door of liberation. Here it is clearly stated that attachment for one thing is the cause of bondage in conditioned life, and the same attachment, when applied to something else, opens the door of liberation. Attachment cannot be killed. It has to simply be transferred. Attachment for the material things is called material consciousness, and attachment for Krishna or his devotee is called Krishna consciousness. Consciousness, therefore, is the platform of attachment. It is clearly stated here that when we simply purify the consciousness from material consciousness to Krishna consciousness, we attain liberation. Despite the statement that one should give up attachment, desirelessness is not possible for a living entity. A living entity, by constitution, has the propensity to be attached to something. We see that if someone has no object of attachment, if he has no children, he transfers his attachment to cats and dogs. This indicates that the propensity for attachment cannot be stopped. Rather, it must be utilized for the best purpose. Our attachment for material things perpetuates our conditional state. But the same attachment, when transferred to the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his devotee, is the source of liberation. Here it is recommended that attachment should be transferred to the self-realized devotees, the sadhus. And who is a sadhu? A sadhu is not just an ordinary man with a saffron robe or long beard. A sadhu is described in Bhagavad Gita as one who unflinchingly engages in devotional service. Even though one is found not to be following the strict rules and regulations of devotional service, if one simply has unflinching faith in Krishna, the Supreme Person, then he is understood to be a sadhu. Sadhu eva sa mantavyah. A sadhu is a strict follower of devotional service. It is recommended here that if one at all wants to realize Brahman or spiritual perfection, his attachment should be transferred to the sadhu or devotee. Lord Chaitanya also confirmed this. Lava matra sadhu sangha sarva siddhihaya. Simply by a moment's association with a sadhu, one can attain perfection. Mahatma is a synonym of sadhu. It is said that service to a Mahatma or an elevated devotee of the Lord is Dwaram Ahur Vimuktehe, the royal road of liberation. Mahat Sevam Dwaram Ahur Vimuktes Tamodvaram Yoshitam Sangi Sangam. Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.2. Rendering service to the materialists has the opposite effect. If anyone offers service to a gross materialist or a person engaged only in sense enjoyment, then by association with such a person, the door to hell is opened. The same principle is confirmed here. Attachment to a devotee is attachment to the service of the Lord, because if one associates with a sadhu, the sadhu will teach one how to become a devotee, a worshipper, and a sincere servitor of the Lord. These are the gifts of a sadhu. If we want to associate with a sadhu, we cannot expect him to give us instructions on how to improve our material condition. But if he will instruct us how to cut the knot of the contamination of material attraction and how to elevate ourselves in devotional service, that is the result of associating with a sadhu. Kapila Muni first of all instructs that the path of liberation begins with such association. According to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sadhu Sangha Sarva Shastrikai Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi Hai. The verdict of all revealed scriptures is that by even a moment's association with a pure devotee, one can attain all success. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 22.54. It is said that a man is a social animal, and according to our association, we can mold our character. Businessmen associate with one another to develop their business capabilities. There are many different types of association, and association brings about bondage to a particular thing. If one associates with materialistic people, one's bondage to sense gratification tightens. Woman is the symbol of sense gratification. Therefore, anything dealing with sense gratification is called Yoshit Sangha. This material world is filled with Yoshit Sangha because everyone is interested in sense gratification. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 2.44, Bhogaishvarya prasaktanam taya partha chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhi samadhau na vidhiyate. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination of devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. The word bhoga means sense gratification. Bhogaishvarya, those who are overly attached to opulence and sense gratification, cannot understand spiritual life, and they are very slow to take to it. At the present moment, people are manda, very slow. They do not take this Krishna consciousness movement very seriously because they have been taught by modern civilization simply to enjoy life for sense gratification. In the Western countries, especially, there are many implements for sense gratification. There are even machines for shaving, although formerly an ordinary razor would do. Now, thanks to the machine, one does not even have to move his hand. So this is considered progress. However, we learn from the Shastras that human life is not meant for sense enjoyment, but for tapasya. That is the Vedic civilization. First of all, one must be trained in the brahmachari system and learn how to deny the senses. A brahmachari should be trained in tapasya, not in enjoyment. Formerly, brahmacharis would have to go from door to beg alms from the ashrama, and they were trained from the very beginning to address every woman as mother. Presently, people are in such a miserable condition that they are saying, let us die, let us die. However, Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, why should you die? People want to die in order to put an end to the threefold miseries of material nature. But who is making research on how to stop death? From Bhagavad Gita, we learn that death is not really natural for us. It is artificially imposed upon us, and we have to become deathless again. That is the perfection of human life. But no one cares about it. We have become so dull that we cannot avoid birth, old age, disease, and death. We are actually experiencing them because we are not alert. For this reason, when Sanatan Goswami approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, "My dear Lord, somehow or other, you have dragged me to your lotus feet. I am now asking you what my actual position is. Why am I forced to suffer the threefold miseries of material life?" No one is interested in inquiring about this matter. Moksha, liberation, means getting free from the threefold miseries of life, as well as birth, old age, disease, and death. Sometimes, when people are a little interested, they take to a path that is not even approved, or they invent something. But nothing need to be invented. By this Krishna consciousness process, everyone can be elevated. Everyone can be delivered, regardless of his situation or culture. We have spread this Krishna consciousness movement throughout the whole world, and the people are becoming happy because of it. According to the Bhagavad Gita 9.32, anyone can take shelter of Krishna. Krishna never denies anyone. And similarly, Krishna's devotee never denies anyone. That is this Krishna consciousness movement. We tell everyone, yes, you are welcome. Take this education and spiritual life and become a devotee of Krishna. Sometimes we are criticized because of this. But Krishna specifically says in the Bhagavad Gita that even those who are low born can take shelter of him and become elevated for liberation. What then to speak of pious people born in Brahmanical families? Unfortunately, in this age, people born in rich or Brahmanical families often don't care for spiritual realization. They misuse their chance and exhaust the results of their pious activities. Society needs first-class sadhus in order to improve. If everyone is a Shudra and debauchee, how can society be peaceful? Therefore, in order to organize society, Krishna recommends the Varnashrama Dharma. There must be ideal Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. However, no one cares about this now. One may ask, what is a sadhu? A sadhu is one who serves Krishna and engages in Krishna consciousness without reservation. In the Bhagavad Gita 9.30, Sri Krishna says, Apichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhak sadhur eva samantavya samyak vyavasito hi saha. Even if one commits the most abominable actions, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated. If the sadhu's business is to be very tolerant, when one becomes a devotee, it is the sadhu's business to be very tolerant. When one becomes a devotee, many people become one's enemy because in this age people are asuric, demoniac. Even one's father may turn into an enemy like Hiranyakashipu, the father of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad was only 5 years old and was chanting Hare Krishna, but his father was prepared to kill him because he was a devotee. Hiranyakashipu was saying, "Why are you chanting Hare Krishna? Why are you speaking of a separate God? I am God." That is the meaning of asuric, demoniac. Rascals who claim to be God themselves are simply demons. Although Prahlad's father was insisting that he was God, Prahlad Maharaj could not accept this. He simply accepted his father as an asura, and consequently there was a quarrel between them. When Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad Maharaj, "What is the best thing you have learned from your teachers?" Prahlad replied, "O best of the asuras, as far as I can understand, because we have accepted this material body, we have to accept death. But this is not the object of human life. Human life is meant for moksha, liberation. Unfortunately, foolish people do not understand this. Krishna says, Mrityu sarva haraschaham. I am death, and I will take away everything you possess. Bhagavad Gita 10.34. Hiranyakashipu was such a powerful demon that even the demigods were afraid of him. But Krishna took everything away in a second. Hiranyakashipu was looking for security, and he was thinking, I will not die in this way, and I will not die in that way. But he did not think that he would be killed by the Lord in the form of Narsimha. However intelligent we may be, and however much we may try to cheat Krishna, Krishna is always more intelligent. When Mother Yashoda tried to bind Krishna with a rope, she found that the rope was always 2 inches short. Our intelligence is like that. We want to cheat God and surpass Him, but this is not possible. People think themselves very advanced in knowledge, but actually, due to their pride, their knowledge is taken away by Maya. Krishna actually takes the knowledge away from atheistic, demoniac people like Hiranyakashipu. Atheists do not know that Krishna's intelligence is always at least 2 inches greater than anyone else's. In material life, we simply struggle for existence. We want to exist, and we do not want to die, nor do we want to undergo the pains of birth, catch diseases, or grow old. There are so many miseries in material life that we do not want, but they are forced upon us. Unfortunately, we are not intelligent enough to make a solution to all these problems. We should be inquiring, like Sanatan Goswami, about how to put an end to them all. Instead, we are working in such a way that we have to accept another material body. We are experiencing the difficulties arising from this material body, but we are not working in a way to become free. This Krishna consciousness movement is giving information on how to become liberated. Those who are Mahatmas are always engaged in chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bhajan is the chanting of Hare Krishna. If we serve a Mahatma like Haridas Thakur, who was always engaged in chanting Hare Krishna, our path of liberation is opened. However, if we associate with materialistic people who are simply mad for sense gratification, we take the way of darkness. Tamo dvaram yoshitam Sangi Sangam. The Vedas enjoin that we not remain in darkness, but that we go to the light. We have accepted a body, but we will not be allowed to remain in that body permanently. We will have to give it up and accept another, and then another, and then another. What is this business? The material world is in such darkness, and people are taking one body after another. Then the Krishna consciousness movement is therefore here to give enlightenment and liberation, and it is offering not only the simplest process of chanting Hare Krishna, but also the most sublime philosophy. Hare Krishna. Yes. So Prabhupada is very nicely teaching us here. I was remembering as we were reading that Prabhupada says, once in the morning walks that Prabhupada would usually take, his disciples would have this very nice conversation, like Prabhupada is saying here. This is such sublime philosophy and such a simple process. Mahaprabhu has given us, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us of just chant. We don't have to do anything fancy, no money required. Even if you don't want to give any wealth, Krishna doesn't need anything. He is the proprietor of all the wealth, all the Lakshmis. Sahasra Koti Lakshmis are worshipping Narayan. Why does he need our wealth? Like, he doesn't need any. He just need our bhav. He just need our true love. That's it. That's all he needs. But so the point that I was trying to make is here, when Prabhupada was going for this morning walk, one of his disciples was asking him, Srila Prabhupada, why is it that only few people take to this Krishna consciousness, not everybody? And Prabhupada was saying, because everybody is sleeping in the darkness, right? It's like, everybody is sleeping, and the people are rascals. They're not able to understand because they're covered by this darkness of Maya. So we have to tell them. We have to tell them again. And then this disciple says, but Prabhupada, even though we tell them, they're so they're so educated and knowledgeable, and we keep telling them, still people are not interested, and people are not willing to follow the process. So then Prabhupada tells him, and this is like, you have to, just like when somebody's sleeping, you have to tell them, hey, Mr. Such and Such, hey, Mr. Such and Such, hey, Mr. Such and Such, why are you sleeping? Come on, get up, you rascal, get up, why are you sleeping? Right? So sometimes when we are also sleeping, right? Sometimes our alarm clocks ring, and we said, okay, snooze, and we just again snooze for 10 minutes. We say, okay, or somebody's trying to wake us up, like our kids, or somebody's waking up, and say, okay, yeah, wait, I'll wake up in 10 minutes, right? So sometimes people just curl in the bed, and they don't want to wake up. So like that, Prabhupada is giving the analogy that people are so caught up in this darkness of Maya that sometimes it takes multiple jolts before somebody can wake up, right? So that's why somebody's journey begins when they are really they really fall down badly in the material world. Either like we've heard many stories, sometimes in the stock market people have serious losses in their wealth, and then they turn to God. Sometimes many other adversities come in people's lives and they lose everything, then they turn towards God, right? But it's not necessary always that only through adversities people come to God, right? People who have that piety, who have that spiritual bank balance from their previous lives, they take up to Krishna consciousness right from birth. Like, that's why Krishna gives birth to such souls, who are advanced on the path of bhakti, that they take birth in such a family where they can, just by the association of their parents or association of sadhus who come to their homes, the spark is already lighted and it ignites immediately. That's why we see kids who are like 2 years, 3 years old, they are able to recite, even shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, they are able to recite Nrsimha prayers. How is that possible? for a little child. That is only possible because of their sincere endeavor in their previous life and by the mercy of Sri Guru and Sri Krishna, that they are able to continue that journey immediately as soon as they take birth, versus somebody who's even in their 60s and 70s still wants to enjoy sense gratification, enjoy wine, women, wealth in this world, and they don't want to take up the process, right? So that's why Krishna says, Bahunam Janmanam Ante. It takes many, many lifetimes for such people before they can understand. So, yeah, the process is very simple. The philosophy is very sublime. We just have to understand and follow the Mahatmas, the sadhus. If we are willing to surrender and listen to their instructions, then the message is the same. We can see again in all traditions, not only ISKCON, not only Srila Prabhupada. If we open our eyes and we see around wherever there's genuine sadhus, acharyas, it's the same process. Like I said, I was reminded when I went to India last time, we went to our hometown and different temples. Like I come from the town of Mirabai, so I went to Mirabai's temple. All the pictures there in that temple, all the sadhus, everybody. One thing that I strikingly saw common was everybody has chanting. At least every wall there are at least 20 dozens of paintings and pictures of sadhus. But at least 3-4 pictures that I saw on this side of the temple corridor, that side, everywhere. I noticed one thing strikingly common was everybody had chanting beads in their hand, chanting bag, and they were chanting. And same thing in other sampradaya also. When we went and we saw the temple, there also I noticed the same thing. Even goddesses, they were chanting. It was mentioned in the pictures there that they are chanting the Lord's holy name always. So Sasatam Kirtayantam Mam. So that is the process in this Kali Yuga, that the Lord has made it so simple for us, and that is so nice that today only we read this Chetodarpana Marjana, the first verse of Shikshashtakam, which is talking about chanting, and Prabhupada is also saying the same thing. So yeah, when we do this, then our veil, because the Lord is there in the heart, like we say, and He can immediately remove the curtain of Maya, the curtain of ignorance, after which we can see Him. Actually, I was wanting to share this. Because yesterday I think Mataji, Sangeeta Mataji, in your reflection you were sharing this, and I was remembering this picture I wanted to show here. Let me bring it up here. So if you see this picture, if you see carefully, I will try to zoom in. So you see here this wall. Hold on. Not able to drag. Yeah. So you see this wall here on the right. You see the bricks, right? So this is in my office actually. So one day I was just standing here a few weeks ago, and I was noticing this wall, and you see this wall actually here. If you see carefully, I've zoomed in. So like that, when we are looking at, and so what does that mean? I was just realizing. So this is like the wall of Maya, right? That is there. So the curtain of Maya is there in front of all of us in our hearts. The Lord is just behind this. So if you see through the bricks, you can actually see the deep sky. You can see actually Shyam Sundar behind. So you can see Krishna, but the wall is there. Depending on our anarthas, that we all have in our hearts, at least I have. I cannot see the Lord right now, but the Lord, through His mercy, if we become sincere, reveals Himself. So even though this wall of bricks is there, slowly, by the process of chanting, this wall becomes, it fades away slowly. And once it completely fades away, we will be able to have darshan of the Lord in our hearts, right? So this is very nice analogy that was meditative ones. And so, like Prabhupada is saying, again, we have to develop our consciousness to remember the Lord. And anyway, I was just sharing this picture because we have been doing that exercise of seeing the Lord, remembering the Lord. Satatam smartavyo satatam Vishnur. So that means always remember Krishna. And vismrityo na jatuhi means we should never forget Krishna. So that's the instruction by Sri Rupa Goswami, that we should always remember Krishna and we should never forget Krishna. So by doing this exercise of seeing the Lord, through the sunlight, there is another picture that I wanted to share. These two I took a couple of weeks ago as we started this exercise of seeing the Lord, in the sunlight and the moonlight. So here also, if you see the same, this is around the same place on the other side. So seeing the sunshine again of the Lord, right? So the sun is there. Again, depending on what our sincerity is and our endeavor is, the Lord may cover himself. So the light of knowledge may be covered through these dark clouds. But also on the contrary, if we want to see the Lord, then yes, he enables us to see this light, because we cannot directly see the sun, but at least when the Lord covers himself like this little bit, we are able to see him. So, but yeah, we should, that is something that we should try to do, that try to see the Lord's presence around us in our daily lives. The more and more we do that, these are the three foundational pillars. We say Shravanam is the foremost, hearing attentively, hearing these instructions of Acharyas, hearing the direct words of Shri Krishna from Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, all our Vedic scriptures. That is the first thing. Then Kirtanam, of course, we chant the holy names, and we chant and we attentively hear. And then that leads to Smaranam, Vishnu Smaranam, which is remembrance. So when we do these three things in our lives, everything will start happening. So thank you so much. Anybody would like to share any other thoughts, comments on today's reading, or how we are trying to continue remembering? I didn't follow up on that post, but hopefully everybody is continuing to remember the Lord through the taste of water, through the light of sun and moon, and through the syllable Om in our Vedic mantras. Anybody would like to share anything? Any other thoughts, comments? Yes, Meenu Mataji, Aarti Mataji, you are the first top two on my list.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. From your talk today, I was thinking about the four defects of humans, that to err is human, the propensity to cheat, and our senses are so imperfect. Like you said, you can't see beyond the wall. Then how do we consider ourselves to be part of God, or we have become God? We're so deeply illusioned, so we need to get that Cheto Darpan Marjanam. We got to clear the mirror of our heart so we can be purified and rise above these defects. Like Srila Prabhupada always said, that nobody has found a way to eradicate death or old age or disease. So if we can't do that, then we need to accept ourselves that we are the soul, we are not this body. And to focus that our soul goes back home to our Godhead. So that's what my thoughts were this morning. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, just with a simple process, everything is possible.
Yeah, like Krishna, they say one of the shlokas is Nama Rupa Kali Kale Krishna Avatar. So Krishna has been so merciful. He's descended in the name, in his name himself, and all we have to do is take his name no matter where we are. So the easiest process is in the Kalikal. There's no yagya, no tapa, no worship, just simply chanting the name does all that for us. So thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. Yes, Aarti Mataji, would you like to share anything? Are you continuing to remember the Lord through the daily activities?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Like, I don't know many mantras, but whatever mantras I recite while offering bhoga or while reading Bhagavatam or Prabhupadaji's books along with you and with some of the devotees I follow. So, yes, before that, I do remember, before chanting mantra, I do remember Lord. With the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and help from you too, along with remembering Lord. We decided first that we will remember Lord whenever we see water or sunlight. So, yes, trying to practice it. Thank you so much for guiding us and for helping us to remember Lord in our daily activities. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you for following and sharing your reflections, because when we hear each from each other, I want to learn from all of you, right? So Yeah, I mean, I'm also on this path with all of us together on this journey. We are all holding on to Srila Prabhupada's dhoti or his stick. I was just joking with Prabhuji, who was here Saturday, Vrindavan Prabhu. He had a stick like Prabhupada, so I said, Prabhupada ने दिया है क्या प्रभु जी आपको हमको डंडा मारने के लिए और हमको stick पकड़ने के लिए. So he is having some physical health issues now. So anyway, he had a stick almost like how Prabhupada used to have in his hand. So we just, all of us are holding on to that, and with that he was saying that in Maharaj and His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, once he had got injured in Vrindavan, he used to have that stick, and so when somebody would bow down before Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he would touch that place, and then he would put it on his head, indicating that because he couldn't bow down at that time, but he would use his stick to offer obeisances. So like that. So yeah. So we are, and this is our bhajan, this remembrance of the Lord every day during different times of the day. This is our bhajan. Yesterday we were reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. I was mentioning this, the bhajan and bhojan. So bhajan and bhojan में एक difference होता है. भजन में कोई मात्रा नहीं है, भोजन में मात्रा होती है पीछे, राइट? भ के पीछे there is a ओ की मात्रा. So भोजन में मात्रा होनी चाहिए. We should have limit in our bhojan, in our diet. But in bhajan, there is no matra, there is no limit. So it should be unlimited. So that's why not just chanting in the morning for 2 hours, but throughout the day we should try to remember the Lord. That is also bhajan, because that is chanting. And like Acharyas explained, that jiska bhajan, jiska bhojan saras, uska bhajan niras. Right? So whose bhojan is very opulent, their bhajan will be very tasteless. But jiska bhojan niras, uska bhajan saras. Right? Whose bhojan is very limited and regulated, and for them the bhajan is very, very tasty and very nectarian. So I should always try to remember that, and we should try to remember the Lord throughout the day. Okay, all right, with that let's pause here for today. Thank you so much for your kind association and association with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur this morning, and Srila Prabhupada and Lord Kapila Dev. वांशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णवृंद की जय. जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे. हरि हरि बोल.
Hari Hari Bo. Thank
Hari
you.
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.